So welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs in a very short span of time within 30 minutes. The idea behind this lecture series is very simple. We want you to cover your current affairs and we want you to cover them on a daily basis. But we don't want you to spend your entire day just reading the newspaper. Therefore, we will cover one day's current affairs within 30 minutes so that you're left with time to cover other parts of your UPSC syllabus. Now, just watching this lecture would be job half done, because just after watching this lecture, you need to revise it as well, because revision helps in consolidating these current affairs in your memory. Otherwise, you'll quickly forget them. Now, you can revise these current affairs from the notes provided by us, and these notes are shared on our Telegram platform. Okay, the link to our Telegram platform is provided in the comment section below. You just have to click on that link and it will take you to our Telegram channel. All right. Enough of the introduction, let's straight away jump into the discussion. But first, let's take a look at the topics we shall cover in today's lecture. Okay, so in total, we'll be covering 5 topics. Number 1 would be Sovereign AI Foundation Model. The thing is that people are saying, experts are saying that Indian government should create a foundation model of AI of its own. Currently, the AI foundation models are with companies like OpenAI, Meta, Google. Indian government should create a foundation model of its own. Okay, it has a lot of advantages. So we'll talk about AI foundation model and what does the word sovereign over here mean. We'll talk about this. Then for search and rescue operations in the Indian Ocean, Government of India has launched a tech platform called SARAT version 2. Okay, version 1 is already there and it is helping Indian Coast Guard and rescue agencies already. Okay, to rescue people stranded in Indian Ocean region, mostly fishermen. Now this version, this platform, this tech platform has been upgraded. Okay, so we'll talk about SARAT version 2. Then Ministry of Rural Development has launched Watershed Yatra. Okay, to generate awareness among people for watershed development programs. Okay, watershed development programs actually conserve water. Okay, water scarcity is a big issue and watershed development programs can really help communities develop water resources so that they are never short of water. So we'll talk about this. Then recently in this year's budget, Finance Minister announced social security benefits for gig workers. Now, gig workers, some of you might know who gig workers are, some of you might not know who gig workers are. So who are gig workers? We'll talk about that. And why is there this problem of social security for these gig workers? We'll talk about this. And in the end, we'll talk about another addition to India's defensive capabilities, and that is Pinaka rocket missile system. Okay, so these are the 5 topics that we will focus our attention on. Let's start the discussion with topic number 1, which is Sovereign AI Foundation Models. Okay, with AI becoming the next technological frontier, is it valuable for India to spend millions of dollars in developing a foundation model? Okay, now to understand this statement, first of all, you need to know what foundation AI models are or foundational AI models are. All right, now look, the thing is that let's suppose OpenAI, a company, created Chat GPT 4. Okay, now this Chat GPT 4 is an AI model which has been trained. Okay, now this Chat GPT 4 model is given to, let's suppose, me. Okay, and what I do is I train this Chat GPT 4 model, okay, on data generated from UPSC answers or UPSC related data. Let's suppose UPSC current affairs related data. So I take this Chat GPT 4 model, I feed UPSC current affairs related data into it, and now I have created, let's suppose, new AI application called UPSC Jumbo. Now, whenever you'll ask a question to UPSC Jumbo, it will give you an answer related to current affairs. So I have created this current affairs AI. Okay. Now the thing is, this UPSC Jumbo will answer current affairs related questions to you. Okay. But to build this UPSC Jumbo AI, I had to use this model, which was provided by ChatGPT 4. Okay. I took this model from ChatGPT 4, trained this model, okay, fed UPSC current affairs into this model, and now I have created a specialist AI called UPSC Jumbo, which will answer all current affairs related questions. Okay, in this case, This UPSC Jumbo is a normal AI application, but ChatGPT 4 is the foundational model. Okay. Now, OpenAI is selling foundational models to different application builders and to different people for building their own customized AI applications. Clear? Clear? But this is the foundational model that OpenAI has. Similar foundational models are with Meta, which is Facebook's parent company, and Google. Now, these companies have built foundational models and they are charging a licensing fee with all the people all over the world who are trying to build AI applications. Okay, so the foundational models are with these three companies, very few companies, and AI applications are developed by AI developers based on these foundational models. Okay, now the thing is, recently, a Chinese startup created its own foundational model. Okay, it was called V3. The name of the startup was DeepSeek, and the foundational model was V3. Now, this was a major disruption because up till now, only American companies possess these foundational models and they had a monopoly of sorts. But China broke that monopoly with this V3 model. And another thing was, to build these foundational models, it requires a lot of money, lot of data, lot of research. China managed to do that in just a fraction of the cost that was used by these big companies. So just using fraction of the money that was used by these big companies, China created a better model. It is said that V3 is better than ChatGPT. Okay, and V3 used just 1/10 or 1/20th of the cost used to build uh, ChatGPT. Now, China has its own foundational model. Americans have their own foundational models. Okay, so it's high time that Indian government steps in because Indian companies do not have enough money to invest in these foundational models, or they don't have the gumption to do that. They don't have the appetite to do that. Okay, therefore, Indian government should step in, should actually dedicate money and create an Indian foundational model. Okay, now, that is why the word sovereign is attached over here. If a private Indian company would have built this foundational model, it would have been called AI foundational model. But now, if the government creates this foundational model, then the word sovereign is attached. Sovereign means government. Now, why should India do that? What are the advantages of this? First of all, it will give you strategic independence. Currently, AI in India uses foundational models owned by OpenAI, Google, Meta. Now, these companies charge a licensing fee because you are using their foundational model to create AI applications. Plus, what would be the biases in these foundational models, or what would be the ethics that these companies would follow with respect to AI? Because ethics and AI is a big field. Okay, so the ethics surrounding AI, biases surrounding AI are all controlled by these companies, and India has no say in it. So, to achieve strategic independence, we need our own foundational model. Plus, our own foundational model would cater to our needs. Okay, a sovereign model can cater to India's diverse linguistic needs. We have different languages. Okay, apart from English, we have 22 scheduled languages. Okay, so our foundational model would be trained on these 22 scheduled languages. Okay, it would be specialized to cater to Indian needs. Okay, so this is an advantage. Plus, currently, Indian companies and Indian government actually spends a lot of money in giving licensing fee to these companies because most of the Indian government applications that use AI, most of the Indian companies that use AI, all pay a licensing fee because Indian government and Indian companies both use foundational models provided by these companies and build their own applications. Clear? So, for example, India has built, let's suppose, Bharat GPT. So, Bharat GPT uses foundational model from OpenAI. So we have to give a licensing fee. So a lot of money gets wasted in this. If we'll have our own foundational model, we can save this money. Plus, this would also fire up the innovation energy in India. Okay. Plus, it will allow India to capture the significant market share in AI. So these are the advantages of all of this. Now, why hasn't India done what China did? Okay. Why is India not being able to create a foundational model quickly? Well, because to create a foundational model is full of challenges. Okay, first of all, there is this high cost. Look, Meta's foundational model called Llama 4 is expected to cost 1 billion. So Meta, Facebook's parent company, has spent 1 billion to create this foundational model. DeepSeek also had to spend 5.6 million per run, per query on this model. Okay. So it requires a lot of cost, a lot of money gets used up. Then these AI models require special AI chips to run on. These special chips are called GPUs. Now, currently, 90% of the GPUs are produced by one company called NVIDIA. It has 90% market share. Okay. And this company is an American company, right? India lacks these advanced AI chips on which we can build these AI models. So this is a roadblock. Okay. Then India already spends very little on innovation, research, and development. India's R&D spending is 0.7% of the GDP, while for USA it is 3% and for China it is 2.4%. So we already spend very little on research and development. How would we find money to invest in these foundational models? It's really difficult. Okay. Plus, if Indian government is not building any foundational model because Indian government already spends so little, then why aren't Indian businesses spending that much amount? Okay. If Indian government thinks that these challenges are too big, then why aren't Indian businesses building a foundational model? The thing is that businesses invest only in those things on which they think that there can be a return. Now, India's AI market is very little. Very few people in India are ready to buy AI or AI related products. Okay. Now, that is why these businesses are not investing so much amount in building foundational models, because they think that they won't be able to sell that much, because Indian market is very little with respect to AI models. Very few people are interested. The reason for that is that AI will bring in automation. And automation, AI related automation, is only popular in those countries where labor cost is high, because companies want to replace these laborers because they are demanding so much salary, right? That is why the thing is that companies invest in AI automation to replace laborers. But in India, labor is already available for cheap. So many businesses do not want AI automation, and that is why no company is investing in AI to create foundational models, because there is little demand for AI automation models because of availability of cheap labor. I hope you understood the entire point. Okay, so this is the issue. All right. Now let's move on to topic number 2, which is SARAT version 2. So the latest version 2 of Search and Rescue Aid tool SARAT offers Indian search and rescue agencies improved efficiency, faster response time, higher success rates, and search and rescue operations. Okay. Now look, Indian Coast Guard and many other search and rescue agencies are involved in rescuing fishermen or many other citizens of India in the Indian Ocean region. Now, to support these people technologically, Indian government created SARAT. Okay, it facilitates search and rescue operations, model ensembling for precise location tracking, so you can precisely track the boats of these fishermen, their location, so as to better conduct search and rescue operations. Now, an upgrade was done to this SARAT. Okay, it's called SARAT version 2, and it was launched recently. So, about SARAT 2. So Search and Rescue Aid tool is a specialized tool developed to assist search and rescue operations, particularly in Indian Ocean region. Now you should remember this. Who developed SARAT? Ministry of Earth Sciences. And who is currently implementing SARAT? It is Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services, which is in Hyderabad. This tool is for the use of Indian Coast Guard and other search and rescue agencies. All right. Now, what are its key features? It will pinpoint your location accurately. It will have exportable data, so you can share that data. It will have enhanced visualization, okay, visualization tools, so as to better plan operations to search. Okay. Plus, there are many training initiatives. So, INCOIS, the implementing agency, is basically organizing many workshops, training workshops for Indian Coast Guard and Airport Authority of India and other search and rescue agencies. Plus, there is scope for future upgrades. Clear? That's all. That's about it. Now let's move to topic number 3, which is Watershed Yatra. So Union Minister of Rural Development launched Watershed Yatra. It is a national level mass outreach campaign. So basically it is an awareness generation campaign to promote community participation in watershed development. Basically you need to know what is watershed development. So let's suppose you have a village, okay, and you have water scarcity problems in that village. Okay, you have a pond, local pond in that village, but it is generally short of water. Now, what can you do? You can do rainwater harvesting. Okay, so whenever rainfall comes, you collect that water and fill your pond. Okay, you plant vegetation, because if there are enough trees in your village, then the water that falls due to rain will get absorbed in the soil and groundwater would get charged. But if you lack vegetation, then groundwater would also become empty. Okay, aquifer recharge won't happen because water would run off and won't get absorbed in your soil. Basically, the roots of plants retain water. Okay, and that's through this you can conserve water. So rainwater harvesting and other techniques to preserve rainwater and other sources of water, all of that is encompassed, or all of that is included in watershed development. So local initiatives to conserve water, to allow groundwater recharge, to fill your ponds, all these things come under watershed development, and it requires community participation. So, to generate awareness among many villages of India with respect to watershed development, and to allow community participation in that, this Watershed Yatra has been organized. Now, this is part of watershed development component of Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. So, government already has an irrigation scheme called Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. This scheme has one component called watershed development component. So this Watershed Yatra is part of this component, which is part of Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana related to irrigation. Okay. So what are its key features? First of all, it will cover 6673 Gram Panchayats across 26 states and 2 UTs, so national coverage, and would promote community participation, people participation. So it has various initiatives for people participation. Shramdan, that means for watershed development, many people would volunteer their labor. They would work for free. Bhumi Pujan, Watershed Mahotsav to generate more awareness among the local people. So all of this is happening. Then Watershed Jan Bhagidari Pratyogita. So rewards top performing projects. So if local villages create their own watershed development project, okay, then that would be rewarded. If any village comes first or has the best watershed development program, they would get 20 lakh per project. Okay, and total this much amount. So basically it will generate healthy competition among villages. Then youth participation is basically encouraged. If youth or young people participate in it, they would get participation certificates that would come in really handy for interviews for various government jobs and private jobs. Okay, then to train people in watershed development, online courses are available on learning management system. So learning management system is being developed to give online courses to people to train them in watershed development. Okay, all right. Now we'll shift to fourth topic, which is social security for gig workers. Now, in this year's budget, finance minister made two announcements. First of all, gig workers will be provided health insurance under Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. Plus, these workers who would get health insurance under this scheme, this Yojana, would also be issued identity cards through eShram online portal. And this portal will benefit 1 crore gig workers. Now, the thing is, first of all, who are gig workers? Okay. So, as you can see over here, Zomato worker, Swiggy workers, Uber drivers, okay, Ola drivers. These are gig workers or platform workers. Now, who are gig workers? Gig workers are those workers who are not employed formally in a company. Okay, these people are freelancers. They don't receive traditional salaries. Okay, they get payment for the service they have provided. Okay, so this Zomato rider does not receive a salary from Zomato. He receives some payment for each delivery he makes. Okay, similarly, Uber driver is not an employee of Uber. He receives payment on the basis of how many rides he has completed, right? So these people are selling their transport service, and the amount of transport services these people are selling, they get compensated for that. So they are not traditional employees of Uber, Ola, Zomato, Swiggy. No, they are just selling their service to Uber, Ola, and these companies. Clear? So anyone can become a Zomato rider, okay, and he or she shall receive payment based on the rides or based on the deliveries that this person has made. Clear? Now, such workers are called gig workers. And the problem with them is, since they are not traditional employees of that company, they are freelancers. Since they are not traditional employees, so they don't receive a salary. They get payment for the deliveries they have made. Because they don't receive a salary, formal salary, they don't get any employee provident fund benefit. They don't get any employee state insurance scheme benefit. Okay, they, they don't get any health insurance benefits from these companies. Otherwise, all the other companies, formal companies, provide these services, provide these benefits, provident fund benefit, health insurance benefit, and all that. Now, these benefits are known as social security benefits. And gig workers do not get these benefits because they are not traditional employees. They don't receive traditional salaries. And because they don't receive traditional salaries, they are not eligible for this. Right? The thing is, the reason why companies pay these social security benefits because it is given in law. Our legal system makes it mandatory for these companies to provide these social security benefits. But since they are not, gig workers are not traditional employees, they don't receive traditional salaries. Hence, these people are excluded from these legal protections, these laws. Plus, do you know that our labor laws also have conditions or provisions related to your working conditions? That you cannot work for more than 8 hours. And if you are working for more than 8 hours, then you will get overtime. Okay. All these things are mentioned in Indian laws. And these things have to be followed by all companies. But the companies have to follow these things and have to provide these benefits, good working conditions, accidental insurance, social security benefits. All these benefits are provided to the employees of these companies. Okay, the law is very clear. These benefits shall be provided to the employees of these companies. But these companies say that these people are not our employees. They are just service providers. They are just suppliers of service. And because they are not our traditional employees, we don't have to give them these benefits. That is why the working conditions of gig workers, they have no working hours. Okay, they can work. Most of them are working 24 hours, okay, even during the night. Okay, so they have no working hours, they have no overtime benefits, plus they don't have social security benefits. So for them, government enacted a law in 2020 called Code on Social Security. It created a social security fund to provide social security benefits to gig workers. But still, most of these gig workers are not covered or do not receive any benefits from this initiative. That is why in this budget, government said that we will provide them at least health insurance. Okay, not provident fund, just health insurance under PM Jan Arogya Yojana. Okay, which is a health insurance scheme for below poverty line people. Clear? So this one step has been taken for gig workers. All right. Now, gig workforce. Well, I've explained who gig workers are. As per World Bank, gig workforce constitutes 12% of the global labor market because now all these companies have mushroomed. Okay, and they employ gig workers, and most of the workers are now gig workers. 12% of the global labor market is gig workers. Clear? Now, the benefit of gig work is that you have flexible employment. Okay, you can work anytime. You can work during the night, during the day. You will get payment based on your work. It provides you extra income opportunities. You can work 9 to 5 in some company and then do Uber, Ola rides or Zomato deliveries. You can earn extra cash. Plus, companies can reduce their cost by employing gig workers because they don't have to create an office space for them. They don't have to pay them social security benefits. So, a lot of cost gets reduced for these companies. So, these are the pros. But the cons are lack of social security benefits and legal protection related to working conditions, accidental insurance, and all that. These gig workers do not get that. Okay. Now, what are the problems in providing social security for gig workers? Why wasn't Code on Social Security that created Social Security Fund? Why was that not able to provide social security to gig workers? First of all, companies get away with not providing social security benefits to these gig workers because these gig workers are not involved in traditional employee-employee relationship. They don't receive formal salaries. Clear? And that is why it's difficult to provide them these social security benefits. Plus, these gig workers have irregular income. Unstable earnings limit workers' ability to contribute to social security funds. And because they can't make any contribution to these funds, they don't receive social security benefits. Plus, there are gaps in registration. Okay, many gig workers have not registered. They lack awareness with respect to registering on eShram portal, so they don't avail any benefit. That is why government needs to basically have awareness campaign drives or awareness drives to make these gig workers aware of these benefits that the government has come out with. All right. And last topic is related to Pinaka rocket missile system. So Union Defense Ministry recently signed contracts worth 10,000 crores for a variety of ammunition for Army's Pinaka multiple rocket launch system. Okay, this is known as MRLS. Multiple rockets can be launched from this system. Okay, now earlier India used to import such rockets. Okay, but now India created its own indigenous weapon called Pinaka MRLS. Now, to fit these rockets with more ammunition, Defense Ministry has signed contracts with a government company and a private company. Okay. Now, about Pinaka, you don't need to remember the names of these companies. Okay. You don't need to remember this news also. What you need to know is, what is this Pinaka MRLS? So, it is a battle proven, all weather, indirect area artillery weapon. Now, who developed Pinaka? Remember, it is indigenous. So, it was developed by DRDO's Armament Research and Development Establishment. It was first used during Kargil War, but during Kargil War, it was very crude. But after Kargil War, many upgrades were made to it, and now it is a very advanced system. Okay. Now, what are its key features? First of all, every launcher has 12 rockets, and one battery has 6 launchers. So there is one battery. Okay. One battery has 6 trucks. On these 6 trucks, each truck has 12 rockets. Okay. It has high explosive capacity. The range of these rockets are 60 to 75. Now, these rockets are guided rockets. That means they have their own navigation system to hit the target. The navigation system that they use is GPS, which is American, and they also use Indian navigation system called Navig. Plus, they are mounted on a truck, which can be taken to any place. It is mounted on a mobile launcher. Okay, so there are Tatra trucks in India, and you can take these launchers anywhere. They're not enough, or they are not attached to any fixed position. They can be moved anywhere and fired from anywhere. So this is the advantage. They are portable basically. Okay, and with that we conclude today's current affairs, today's session. All right, thank you so much for watching everyone, and I hope it has added value to your preparation. But it would add more value if you revise this lecture also. Okay, so please do not forget to revise it, because revision would help in consolidating these current affairs in your memory. On that note, I'll be signing off. Thank you so much everyone.